I love WIC.
Me encanta WIC, apoya mucho,
They are supportive
es útil,
and they're so helpful.
coma sanamente,
Eat fruits and vegetables.
su bebé es importante.
So eat healthy. The baby is important. Exercise regularly.
Del embarazo al nacimiento,
From pregnancy to birth, put your nutrition first. Breastfeeding is the best choice.
dar pecho, la mejor opción.
Yeah, WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
Hello, and welcome to the WIC Show, the show about WIC, for WIC, and by WIC. I'm Alana Samuel. Coming up in this edition of the WIC Show, we'll show you how physical activities prepare your preschooler for school success and find out why eating whole grains is good for you. Plus, in the WIC kitchen, VG adds a fruity crunch to a chicken quesadilla. But first, one of the joys of pregnancy is feeling your baby move. Those movements are proof your little one is doing well. In the third trimester, it's good to start counting your baby's kicks because counting kicks counts.
We do kick counts just to make sure that the baby's healthy and that he's moving.
And make sure there's no complications further along. Doing the kick count is another method to bond.
That's my first child and I want everything to be okay with her, so I want to take the time out of my schedule.
As you approach your baby's due date in the last trimester of pregnancy, your doctor will ask you to keep track of your baby's movements. This is very important to make sure your baby continues to grow and be healthy and strong. Hello, I'm Dr. Corinne McClary. In your last trimester, when you're 28 weeks pregnant, it's important to take time to count your baby's kicks each day. This is because healthy babies move. If your baby isn't growing well or has a problem, their activity slows down and your baby won't move as much. Counting kicks will improve your chances of delivering a beautiful, healthy baby and reduce the risks of losing your baby before it's born. You should start counting your baby's movements in your 7th month of pregnancy. It's a very simple way to check on your baby every day. Once a day, when your baby is usually most active, sit in a comfortable position or lie down on your left side. It's important that you're in a quiet place without distractions. Turn off the TV and don't talk on the phone. Check to see what time it is. Put your hands on your belly and feel for your baby's movements. Count how many times your baby moves. A move is a kick, twist, turn, roll, or stretch. When you count 10 moves in the first hour, you can stop counting. There's a place on the kick count chart to fill in the time you started and ended counting each day. Your medical provider will want to see this at your visits.
When do you do kick counts?
I do kick counts usually after I eat. I do them a couple times a day, lay on my side, and what's worked for me is something cold or hot or sugar. I usually feel him move the most after those things.
For me, it's at night because I feel like I'm getting ready for bed and that's when she wants to play. So like, 'cause she'll move around and I'll like poke her back and like we'll play tag.
Just become real still and focus in on the baby, and then you're most likely to have movements.
Sometimes it's like a stretching feeling or it's like a quick jab.
When the hour is over and you haven't counted 10 kicks, don't worry. Your baby may have fallen asleep or isn't in an active period. Take a couple of minutes to eat or drink something. It also helps to walk around for 5 minutes. Then repeat counting kicks for another hour. If your baby doesn't move 10 times in the second hour, you should call your medical provider right away. It's very important to have your baby checked as soon as possible if you don't get the 10 kicks in the second hour. This gives us a chance to make sure everything's all right with your baby.
Well, if I had had the proper information about kick counts, I believe early in my pregnancy, it would have resulted in a better ending. I feel like I lost my child due to not having the knowledge about kick counts.
Please know that you're not bothering your physician or medical staff by calling to report your baby isn't moving. This can be a very important sign that something isn't right and should be checked out for the safety and health of you and your baby.
If you don't feel 10 movements in 1 hour, what would be the next thing that you do?
Call as soon as I felt worry. You know, mothers, we have that instinct.
Well, last time my baby wasn't moving, I waited quite a bit of hours, and the nurse told me not to do that.
I think it's very valid to follow what your body is telling you.
Would you call your doctor? Would you go to the emergency room?
I would definitely go to the emergency room if I didn't have access to the doctor.
If you have a feeling that something is wrong with your baby, you know, better to be safe than sorry and to act on it.
So count your kicks every day when you usually feel the baby moving the most. Once you reach 10, you can stop. If you don't get to 10 in the first hour, stimulate the baby by eating or drinking and walking around for 5 minutes. Most importantly, call when you don't get 10 kicks in the second hour. Your baby is counting on you.
I just say to all women, please know your body and pay attention to any signs, any changes. And I recommend that everybody looks into kick counts. This is something that needs to be taken very seriously. I just want it to be a better outcome for all women and children.
It's really worth, you know, going through the counting and making sure your baby's alert, making sure your baby's attentive, making sure your baby's responding to you.
When I went to the hospital and they told me that, you know, children were dying because the mothers were waiting too long, I felt afraid enough, you know what I mean, to start making that a priority every day.
You have to go through these measures to make sure that you are doing what's best for your baby. It doesn't take a lot of time, and the outcome is being able to be with your baby.
Check with your doctor or midwife about the amount of kick counts they recommend you do each hour. Did you know that as a WIC participant, you can qualify for a discount on your home's local phone service? The California Lifeline program is designed to help you save money.
My name is Susan Lal, and I'm a coordinator for the California Lifeline program. The California Lifeline program is a discount on home phone service. A person can typically save up to 50% of the cost of their basic home phone service. There's 2 ways that a person can qualify for California Lifeline: if they participate in one of the approved programs like WIC, or if they fall within the income guidelines. You can enroll in the California Lifeline program by calling your local telephone company and asking for the discount. You do not have to be a legal U.S. resident to qualify for the California Lifeline program. The phone companies will not ask you for any documentation regarding that. The California Lifeline program is not for cell phones, it's for landlines only. And it's important to have a landline because it provides you with reliable and direct access to emergency services, allows you access to friends and families, and job opportunities. Individuals can still qualify for the California Lifeline program even if their phone has been disconnected.
For more information on how to apply for the California Lifeline program, just call the number on the screen.
Hi, I'm Robin Ng. Coming up next on The WIC Show, I'll tell you why I'm standing in the middle of a wheat field.
WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
The average person eats almost 100 pounds of sugar a year. All of the sugar leads to extra calories, which leads to extra weight. It's no wonder the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say that 2 out of every 3 Americans are overweight or obese. Obesity puts you and your children at risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer, hypertension, dyslipidemia, stroke, osteoarthritis, liver, and gallbladder disease. The single biggest source of the sugar is from sugary drinks. How much sugar is in these drinks? 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. The average 20-ounce bottle of soda has about 29 grams of sugar per serving, or just over 7 teaspoons of sugar. These sodas usually offer more than 2 servings per bottle, so if you drink this whole bottle, you're really getting 73 grams of sugar. Divide that by 4, and you'll see that you are actually eating a little over 18 teaspoons of sugar. Instead of all this sugar, what does your body really need? Water. Water is all your body needs for hydration and for it to work properly. A healthy way of flavoring your water is by adding slices of fruit like melon, strawberries, lemon, lime, and even cucumber. So rethink your drink and pick water.
WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
Hi, and welcome back to the WIC Show. I'm Alana Samuel. One of WIC's goals is to provide you with food that helps you stay healthy. Up next, we take a closer look at some of those healthy foods.
Hi, I'm Robin Ng, a WIC nutritionist. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of whole grains. I'm standing in the middle of a beautiful wheat field, and wheat is a delicious whole grain. What exactly is a whole grain? Well, whole grains have been used for thousands of years in nearly every culture. You probably already know about rice, barley, corn, and oats. If you look closely, you can see that a whole grain contains all of its parts. The bran, which is high in fiber and B vitamins, the starchy endosperm, and the heart-healthy germ, which contains antioxidants, B vitamins, minerals, protein, and healthy oils. On the other hand, refined grains contain only the starchy endosperm. The bran and the germ have been removed, so all the benefits of a whole grain are lost. Eating whole grains instead of refined grains is one of the most important things you can do for your health. Why? Well, whole grains contain all of the original vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They're better for your teeth and gums. They help prevent constipation. In fact, eating whole grains instead of refined grains can even prevent heart disease, diabetes, and some cancers. And WIC is making sure you stay healthy. Most WIC participants are given a variety of whole grains, such as brown rice, oats, whole grain barley, bulgur, 100% whole wheat bread, whole wheat tortillas, corn tortillas, and whole grain cereals. Make at least half your grains whole grains. It's easy. Other ways to get more whole grains are choose 100% whole wheat bread, whole wheat tortillas, bagels, pita pockets. Try plain popcorn and brown rice cakes. Choose 100% whole wheat pasta. Try adding barley, brown rice, or other whole grains to your soups and casseroles. If you have any other questions about your whole grain food choices, be sure to ask your WIC counselor. I'm Robin Ng for The WIC Show. Thanks for watching.
It's time now to head to the WIC kitchen where our chef VG shares a delicious recipe from WIC's Let's Cook cookbook.
Hi, I'm Viji. Welcome to the WIC kitchen. Today we're going to make quesadillas with cheese, apples, and poached chicken. And we're going to do some homemade salsa with canned tomatoes. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is put on an apron. You always wear an apron in the kitchen. Then we wash our hands. Washing your hands is the best way to keep germs out of your food. The recipe I'm preparing is in the WIC cookbook. Let's cook or vamos a cocinar. We're going to start by preparing our poaching liquid. About 5 or 6 black peppercorns and 2 or 3 cloves of smashed garlic. Okay, let's add that to our poaching liquid. And we're going to let that come to a boil, and then we'll put in our chicken breast. On the quesadillas, we are going to be putting grated carrots and grated cheese. So we're going to start by grating some carrot. Now the next thing we're going to do is grate some cheese. Okay, there's our cheese. I hear the water boiling, so our chicken water may be ready. Now let's time this because we want this to cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, we've put our chicken breast in the broth, and now this should go into the refrigerator, and I will go wash my hands. Now we're going to continue with our salsa. We have a can of whole peeled tomatoes. If you can find diced tomatoes, plain diced tomatoes, you may use those. But this is just as easy. So we're going to pour in a can of diced green chilies. A little bit of cumin in here. And then we're going to dice some onion. And I like to use the white onion. It has a different flavor from the yellow onion. And it's perfect for salsa. Okay, I like lime juice in my salsa, so I'm going to be using lime. This is a citrus squeezer. Put it in upside down there. Here's your juice. I did not put any salt in it. The lime juice is going to bring out the flavor. This is a very mild salsa, so it's appropriate for children to eat. Nothing too spicy or tangy. Some cilantro. So take off the stems. These are kind of tough to be eating. But the thinner parts of the stem are fine. Just chop them up. We'll put a bit into our salsa. Okay, the chicken has been poaching for about 12 to 15 minutes. We're now going to set it off the heat. Ideally, it will cool in the liquid for another 15 or 20 minutes. We're now doing our apples for the quesadillas. We've cut the apples in half. We're going to core it out with a spoon, like this. Then we're going to slice it. These are the slices we'll put in the quesadillas. You don't want them too thick, you don't want them too thin, just so you get a nice crunch with that cheese. Okay, let's test our chicken breast to make sure that it is at the right temperature and that it's done. So now we're going to use a thermometer to see what the temperature is in the thickest part. Okay, we're looking for 165. This temperature has to be maintained for 15 seconds. And the other alternative, if you don't have a thermometer, is to cut the chicken at the thickest part of the breast and see that there is no pink meat. And this says 169. Okay, I'm going to transfer the breast to my chicken cutting board. It's a good idea to have separate cutting boards for vegetables and meat. I've deboned and skinned the chicken breast, and now I will shred it. 2 forks, back to back. You put them in here, and you draw them out, and this is how you shred chicken. You see how it's shredding? It's easy, it takes a little time, but the texture is really nice when you put it in a quesadilla or an enchilada. So let's make the quesadilla, and I will start composing a quesadilla. Put some cheese, some of the shredded chicken. Let's put a little bit of the carrot, some apple, and a little bit of salsa. And then you cook this until it's melted. The cheese is melted and it's cooked on both sides. Here's our final dish. It's a quesadilla with apple, poached chicken, carrots, and homemade salsa with canned tomatoes. and we've garnished it with an orange. See you next time in the WIC kitchen. This is Vijay.
Still to come on the WIC Show, activities that will prepare your child's brain and body for kindergarten. I'll be right back.
And here's the nose.
Yeah, that's my guy! I'm gonna make you feel all better now.
The end.
It's so easy to make a child happy.
WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor, el programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.
Hello, I'm Alana Samuel, and you're watching the WIC Show. Getting your child ready for kindergarten means more than just knowing numbers and the ABCs. Making sure your preschooler is also physically confident with her body can make a difference in her success in school. The WIC Show's Paola Laverde tells us why.
These 3- and 4-year-olds are enjoying the challenges of the obstacle course. What they don't know is that playing like this is getting their brains and bodies ready for kindergarten and beyond. Preschools like Centro Vida in Berkeley, California, make sure to expose children to many activities that encourage a child's physical and mental development. Centro Vida's Virginia Turner says these activities are critical at this age.
Play is very important for the child's development. It's the main need that the child has. It's when the child is learning how to control their body, their impulse, and use their language.
And when preschoolers are comfortable using their bodies, they'll be more comfortable getting along with others on the playground and participating in classroom activities in kindergarten. In order to get that confidence, preschoolers need to master 4 areas of physical development. This development will train the body and brain for learning.
Tactile development is a very important activity that we have to do with children. First, because we have to expose them to different activities to help them develop their writing skills. Since children are young at this age, their fingers are stiff, and that helps them loosen up their fingers. The child will be able later on to hold a pencil or a marker or a crayon and be able to trace, be able to write, and later on will be able to follow with their own finger the reading as it goes in a book. It's also very good to expose the child to different textures, like playing with Play-Doh, playing with clay, playing with paint, finger painting.
Moving hands and feet across the body and coordinating hands and feet together is called crossing the midline. This type of movement trains the 2 sides of the brain to communicate and builds the pathways the brain will need later on when the child is ready to start reading and writing.
Because, you know, reading and writing is an ability that the brain has to develop from left to right. And that's how it goes. Writing and reading as well.
Painting on an easel or on a wall, as well as pedaling a tricycle, are fun ways to get a child to cross his midline. This boy is learning balance, and this type of awareness also tells him where his body's in space. Activities like walking on junior stilts or riding a scooter will help a child feel more secure in his body.
Later on, they will be more competitive, doing physical activities when they go to kindergarten, like climbing higher structures, by sliding, by running, and have more competitive physical activities in which the child will take more intelligent risks.
Now back to that obstacle course. What are these children learning? Well, activities like obstacle courses, dancing, and catching bubbles are part of motor planning development.
Motor planning is when the brain is organizing a sequence of events For example, when the child listens to the music and they want to dance, the child will be ready to follow with their body the beat of the music. When they are playing with bubbles, it's very important because they are organizing as well a sequence of events.
This mental organization actually teaches a child self-control and the ability to follow directions. And, along with pencils and crayons, these skills are critical in your child's toolbox before kindergarten even begins. For the WIC Show, I'm Paola Laverde.
If you need more information about getting your child ready for kindergarten, check with your local school district or Head Start program. That's it for this edition of the WIC Show. On behalf of us all at WIC, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Alana Samuel, and I'll see you next time.
I love WIC.
Me encanta WIC. Apoya mucho.
They are supportive.
Es útil.
And they're so helpful.
Coma sanamente.
Eat fruits and vegetables.
Su bebé es importante.
So eat healthy. The baby is important. Exercise regularly.
Del embarazo al nacimiento.
From pregnancy to birth, put your nutrition first. Breastfeeding is the best choice.
Dar pecho, la mejor opción.
Yeah, WIC is the best.
WIC es lo mejor. El programa de WIC.
The WIC Show.